Sri Jawhar Sircar. Mr. Sircar, there is allocation of 15 minutes for you.
Beg your pardon, sir?
15 minutes.
15 minutes. I'm sure you'll give me some extra time, sir, because others have had. Sir, my only request is that I be allowed to speak without interruptions, because I'm going to speak on very factual basis. It is a speech made by the President of India based on inputs given by the government, and there are certain comments on it. So I'll start with, say, para 3, where the President talks about good governance. Now, I look at my friends on both sides and ask them that when you visit a Sarkari office, do you see this good governance, or have the rates gone up? I mean, it's just an open question. Do you see good governance in Sarkari offices, or do you see certain other obstructions? Now, instead of going by a statement made in the President's speech, I will take up an international comparison given by the World Bank. The World Bank's Global Economy Government Efficiency Index. Government Efficiency Index puts India at number 66. Number 66. The lowest among developed countries, and we are behind Botswana, pata nahi kahan, Fiji, Mauritius, Lithuania, Latvia, vagare. We are behind. Sir, if we spend more time on actual governance rather than on advertising slogans and taglines made by ad agencies, instead of image boosting, things could have taken place in the last 10 years. Or the second part relates to the continuous drumming of GDP, that we are the 5th largest GDP country in the world. I admit. लेकिन जब जीडीपी के पानी पिएंगे, याद करना किसने वो कुआं खोदे थे? Who built the foundation for this GDP? But when we talk of 3 trillion, now 5 trillion GDP by 2024, a promise made by the Prime Minister, we are in 2024 and we are nowhere near 4 trillion. 5 trillion के बाद तो छोड़िए, 4 trillion तक नहीं पहुंचा. कोई बात नहीं, we will all make it. But GDP, the way we compute it, is the gross wealth of the nation as a whole, which includes the obscene degrees of wealth accumulated during the 10 years by the oligarchs and big houses. This is a government, as everyone knows, for the rich, by the rich. So we talk of GDP in terms of you and me, per capita GDP. Per capita GDP, India's rank is 120th in the world, 120 in the world, 120th rank in the world with only $2,400. That's all. So we must understand that GDP. I am quoting and I can give it any time.
Please, आपस में बात नहीं, आप बोल.
So we are one of the lowest in GDP in the world, and an established fact. You can look up whatever you want. But this GDP is the GDP of Ambani, Adani, Jindal, and Vedant Agarwal. Aja. This is what I call the Aja GDP, because hum log to hai Jaja GDP. We belong to the Jaja group of GDP. Jao tum log. Now, yaad rakhiye that inequality has reached insane proportions under this government. International reports say that inequality is far worse than in colonial times. Aap log baaton par colonial bolte na. The second point I want to raise is on para 4 of the Honorable President's address. My government's budget. Sir, let me humbly submit that as I stand before you, there's an economic blockade of West Bengal. I'm using the term, not deprivation, an economic blockade of Bengal. There are many opposition states that are suffering from pinches and cuts. But where Bengal is concerned, we are stopped from 1,23,358 crores, 1.23 lakh crores for Narega, PMAY, PM Gram Sarak Yojana, NHM, central subsidy. 40,000 of deprivation in the last 2 years makes it a total of 1,71,000 crores of deprivation. We are specially targeted our funds for cyclone. People whose houses have been devastated by cyclone, Amphan, Yas, Bulbul, Patani, 10 years ago, they have not received any compensation. 870 crores of health sector funds are illegally stopped to us by linking it. I'm using the word illegally. I'm an officer. I was an officer. I know which part is legal and which part is not legal. 15th Finance Commission fund has been illegally tied up with Ayushman Bharat and color coding. हमें कहा जाता कि उसको make it saffron. Why? We have to understand why. Why this special hatred for Bengal? There are attacks on other states. It is because twice you have raised this bogey that Bengal हमारे हाथ में है, and you have thrown out. We are, with whatever pressures you put, we shall not accept the three. We shall not accept the three nitis of. We shall not accept. Please sit down.
Please,
we shall not accept your communal agenda. We shall not accept your caste agenda. We throw out caste, and we shall not accept the repression of women. Bengal is the only state. Bengal is the only state
बैठे अपनी जगह। मिस्टर जवाहर सरकार, प्लीज आप दोनों बैठे, आपकी बात रिकॉर्ड पे नहीं जा रही है।
Cutting into my time.
You speak.
Sir, let me put it. Bengal is the only state, my friends, that has 38% women MPs in Rajya Sabha, 38% and 38% women MPs in Lok Sabha.
प्लीज आप बैठ जाए।
Come somewhere close to it and बात करेंगे. I don't know who this.
आपकी बात रिकॉर्ड पे नहीं जा रही।
Now we have say. The excuse given by finance is आप UC नहीं देते. UC means utilization certificate नहीं देते. अब देखें CAG report of 21-22, what it says in para 4.16. It says 32 central ministries have not submitted UCs for 42,800 UCs. क्या फालतू UC करते. Sir, the happiest news is what the president has said in para 4. It's happy to me for a very historical reason that we shall be celebrating 75 years of the Constitution. But I go back to history, to the organizer, a paper of the RSS of 30th November 1949, and I go back to Golwalkar ji's Bunch of Thoughts, Part 3, page 19. I'm quoting from there. The worst thing about the Indian Constitution of Bharat, that there is nothing Bharatiya about it. There is no trace of ancient Bharatiya laws. Manu's laws were written long before. And Manusmriti is not our constitution. This is his words I am quoting. And I am glad that after so many 75 years, his descendants have decided to eat these words with tomato sauce and join the Constitutional Club. Sardar Patel, as you know, had banned the organization for 18 months. And at the end of 18 months, he got an assurance that they will abide by the Constitution. Incidentally, when we talk of emergency, there is no one who supports emergency. But we don't talk of Sardar Patel banning the organization for 18 months. And you build statues on the man who banned you. Statues on the man who banned you. I come to para 22 because there is a reason. I come to para 22 because there is a reason. Jump. Because today is a black day. Today is 1st of July. Today is 1st of July and will be remembered. Today is 1st of July and will be remembered like the 13th of April 1919, Jallianwala Bagh Day. Because our laws, our safe criminal laws that have worked well, have been trampled, have been brought in, have been discarded without discussion when 146 MPs were suspended. And what does this talk of? Why? this talks of anti-colonial, that was colonial and this is anti-colonial. Yeah, मुझे एक बात बताइए, who participated in the anti-colonial movement? It was this side. We participated in the anti-colonial movement. You ran away from it. काहे बातों के बात पर anti-colonial बात करते. This BNS section 111 makes writing and speech also to be an act of terrorism. I don't know how many of us will be arrested under it, because it does not require a warrant for a police officer to arrest. Under section 150 of the BNS, it criminalizes subversive activities without defining what is subversive activities. What I'm saying about the government, I am bound as a member of the opposition to say, is this subversive? I don't know, because I may be arrested. I keep some stock of medicines for Tihar jail. Now, having said that, there's this section 150 brings in a very interesting provision. One who excites people or stokes feeling of hatred can be banned and arrested.
Prime Minister.
Do we remember somebody who was stoking feelings and exciting people with Mangal Sutras?
Yes.
With one community taking all your jihadis, with Sikhs as Khalistanis? Which is that community? We will come under this act. I want a clarification from the Home Minister. Is such person who makes such comments amenable to action under section 150 of the BNS, or is it just a showpiece? As I said, 172, police can arrest anyone, including Dr. Sivadasan, without warrant. Remember that. That is why I call it. You are stopping fasting as a political weapon. Fasting was a political sacred weapon. Shaheed Jatin Das died in Lahore jail. So that in 1929, so that political prisoners are not treated like criminals. Gandhiji went on fast in Pune. Remember? How will you remember? You did not participate in the freedom struggle. How will you remember what fasting is? Fasting as a political weapon has been taken up. Section 149 authorizes the police to go on, break up any form of political agitation. Please reconsider this law in a full house and then come to the point. About banks, you have mentioned in para 17, Chhati Phulake, bang. What have you done in your banks? In the last 10 years, you have wiped off 15.5 lakh crores. 15.5 lakh crores in the name of cleaning up. Out of these 15.5 lakh crores, who are the beneficiaries? On 12th December 23, the finance minister has said frauds have eaten away 2.05 lakh crore. 2.05 is with the Pura Bengal, the entire pent-up funds would have been done twice over. 2.5 lakh crores eaten up by frauds, and who are they? Nirav Modi, Mehul Choksi, Jatin Shah, vagare. They have destroyed 2.5 lakh. Then large industries have destroyed 7.4 lakh crores. IBA, All India Bank Association, say 2/3 of the entire bad loans are accounted for by 13 favored houses. That's all. Videocon's debts were 46,000 crores. They were sold to Vedanta for 6%. 6%. What amount of hera-pheri is going on? The next dreadful thing is that 3 days ago, you have operationalized the Communication Telecom Act. This Telecom Act is another black act that was passed in December when we were thrown out of the House. Now, what does this Telecom Act say? Every sign, signal, writing, text, image, sound, video, data stream, information. Every sign, signal, writing, text, image, video stream, data stream, information is amenable under the Act for interception and for punishment. You send a signal to somebody else. Government has now empowered it. Remember, nobody stays in power for eternity. So you will also suffer the consequences, the mischief of this act. This is entirely aimed at criminalizing and terrorizing those who have stood up to this government in the recent past, like Ravish Kumar, like Punna Prasanna Bajpayee, like Deshbhakt, like Kunal Kamra, Dhruv Rathi. This is all aimed at them. Aimed at them. I come toward the last part of this thing. I'll continue for a couple of minutes more with your kind permission.
आप अपनी पार्टी का ही समय लेंगे 15 मिनट समय
पार्टी 15 मिनट दे देंगे 2-4 labor force in the labor force the highest degree of unemployment in the last 30 years is going on now. 8% is the rate of unemployment, which is the worst among the top 10 economies. We have one state, one country to match us, and that is Italy. उससे थोड़ा ज़्यादा दोस्ती हो रही है ना भी इटली से, तो इटली का भी 8%, हमारी भी 8%, बाकी सब below 8%. We have. What about jobs? Your minister, Mr. H.D. Kumaraswamy, has revealed 4 to 5 days ago that under the PLI scheme, U.S. enterprise Micron Tech is charging the government rupees 3.2 crores per job created. For one job creation, 3.2 crores, 2,000 crores, 3.2 crores. मुझे दे दीजिए ना, मैं 100 सैकड़ों के सैकड़ों जॉब तैयार कर देंगे with 3 crores. For the poor, you say, poverty line, we have almost crossed it, eliminated. You have to feed 81 crore people and yet talk of a mythical poverty line. Either they are not poor and you are feeding them, force feeding them, or they are within the range of poverty. You talk of Jan Aushadhalaya and all that. You have 25,000. It takes 60,000 people have to line up before one of those stores. You talk of women. The labor force participation ratio among women is the lowest, I repeat, lowest among all top countries in the world. We are now below the sub-African countries, below Central Asian countries, below East European countries, below Kyrgyzstan, Chad, Mauritius, Mauritiana, everything. There is a complete distress going on and you are not realizing it. The Honorable President has spoken about the green era. The Environment Minister mentioned that he has stopped 2 lakh trees from getting cut. But where the green era is concerned, every law that pertains to the environment, water, air, and the ground, all of them have been amended with brute majority. Our pollution is one of the worst. I don't need to tell people in Delhi about our pollution. But there's a stunning fact that has come out. And this fact has come out in the international domain that India has used more coal, more thermal power than all of Europe put together and all of North America. And we keep promising that we are towards non-fossil forces. I will end here by requesting the Railway Minister to kindly devote some time to Aam Janta trains, to train safety, to Kavach, to taking 1.5 lakh posts that are vacant in the safety department only, so that we don't get repeated accidents. We do not want bullet trains. We want our normal trains to be safe. Yes. Our normal trains. So the last word that I'll say is that you are giving highest priority of 10 lakh crores, 11 lakh crores to infrastructure. And what is happening? Previously, when the rain fell, the roofs leaked. Now the roofs fall and papers leak. With these words,
thank you.
I thank you, sir.